Canto 20. Now of new punishment my verse must tell, lending the matter for the 20th canto of my first song, of spirits drowned in hell. I was disposed already to look down upon the bottom of the pouch in sight, bathed as it was in anguish and laments. And I saw people in that rounding veil, silently weeping, walking at a pace as slow and solemn as a litany. And when my eyes observed them farther down, they seemed miraculously screwed about between the chin and where the torso starts. For backward to the kidneys turned the face, and backward always did they have to go, as they had lost the sight of things ahead. Maybe, in wrenchings of paralysis, a man may be so wholly twisted round. I've never seen it, and I have my doubts. Reader, so may God let you gather fruit from this your reading. Place yourself with me and think how I could keep my own face dry. When I looked on our human image there, so gone awry and twisted, that the eyes shed tears that trickled down the buttocks crack, I leaned upon an outcrop of the bridge, and surely wept. I wept so that my guide said, even now, with all the other fools, here pity lives the best when it is dead. Who is more wicked than the man who longs to make God's judgment yield to human force? Lift up your head, lift it up, look at him, for whom the Thebians saw the earth yawn open, at which they cried, where are you tumbling to, Amphiaraus, leaving the war so soon? Who tumbled to the pit until he came to Minos? He who snatches everyone. See how he's made a breast out of his back, because he wished to see too far ahead. Now he looks back and walks a backward path. See there Tiresias, he whose figure changed when he became a female from a male, converting every member, every limb, who had to beat apart, first with a stick, two serpents twined about an intercourse, before he gained his manly quills again. Aruns is he, his back to the Greek's belly, who, in the hills of Luni, harrowed by the Carese, who lived down in the valley, dwelt in a cave among those marble cliffs, and spent his nights watching the sea and stars, with not a thing to cut his vision short. The women there, who covers up her breasts, her back's to you, with tresses loosed and wild, and on that side where's all her hairy parts, was Manto, who went searching many lands, till settling in the place where I was born. Please hear me on this topic for a bit. After Tiresias' father had died, and Bacchus' city Thebes became a slave, this woman roved a long time through the world. A lake above, in lovely Italy, lies at the foot of the Alps that cut the Tyrol from German lands. Its name is Beneco. All from the hills, from Garda to Pennino to Val Camonica, are watered by the 1,000 springs that flow into that lake. There in the middle is a spot the bishops from the Brescia and from Trent and from Verona could bless as theirs, if they should go that way. Peschiera, strong and handsome, front for war against the Brescians and the Bergamasques, lies to the south, on the more level shore. Here all the water that cannot be held within the lap of Benaco must fall, forming a river flowing through the green fields, from the point where the stream begins to flow. They call it Minacchio, and not Benacco, all the way to Governolo and the Po. Not far on in its course it finds the flats, and spreads itself and turns into a marsh, and sometimes in the summer it grows rank. Passing by here, the brutish virgins saw an island in the middle of the swamp, untilled and naked of inhabitants, and there, to flee all human intercourse, she settled with her slaves to ply her arts, and lived, and left her empty corpse behind. The men, who then were scattered round about, gathered upon that island, rendered strong by the marsh circling round it like a moat. They built a city over those dead bones, and from her name who first picked out the place, drawing no lots, they called it Mantua. Its citizens were once more numerous, before the mad and stupid Casalodi let Pinamonte play him for a fool, and so I warn you, if you ever hear of any other founding of my town, let no deception cheat you of the truth. Teacher, I said, for me your arguments possesses such certainty and seize my trust, that all the others are extinguished coals. But tell me of these people in procession, do you see any soul worthy of note? My mind keeps coming back to that alone. And so he said that one who from the cheek spreads his beard down upon his swarthy back was a diviner, when the men of Greece waged war, with hardly a boy left in the crib, and scanned the heavens with calches for that point to cut the ropes in Aulis and set sail. Eurypylus was his name, as I have sung in my high tragedy, in a certain place, as you know well, because you know it all, that other who's so skinny in the flanks was Michael Scott, and he, without a doubt, knew how to play the tricks of sorcery. Bonatti there, and see Toothless the cobbler, who now would like to have attended more to string and leather. His regrets come late. See the sad woman there, who left the loom, the thread and spindle, to be fortune-tellers, casting their spells with herbs and waxen dolls. But come now for the figure in the moon. Cain and his bush of thorns is in the west, setting into the South Sea of Seville. And last night it was round, and at the full. You should recall it, for from time to time it does not hurt you in those endless woods. So we continued, walking as he spoke. End of Canto 20. Canto 20. Now of new punishment my verse must tell, lending the matter for the 20th canto of my first song, of spirits drowned in hell. I was disposed already to look down upon the bottom of the pouch in sight, bathed as it was in anguish and laments.